Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is Gateway's Got It. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. And guess what? Gateway's got it. Got it. Not E. They've got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome to episode 65 of The Mom Game. And before we go any further, I do want to say thank you to Gateway Buick GMC, not only for being a proud sponsor of The Mom Game, but also the title sponsor of the Do It for Durrett golf tournament presented by Next Step Recruiting. Yeah, so we partnered with Next Step Recruiting a couple of years ago. They wanted to, kind of focus on benefit a different charitable organization each year that they did this golf tournament. So we were their recipient beneficiary their first year. And then they fell in love with us. They fell in love with the Do It for Durrett Foundation. Awesome. And so we have just had this partnership ever since. Gateway came on as a title sponsor last year, and they are back again this year. I'm so grateful for Charles Cooksey and Jaffa, his wonderful, wonderful girlfriend, and the support that they've shown us, the Mom Game, the Do It for Durrett Foundation.
They're awesome.
They're fantastic. And I am truly, truly grateful to them. I mean, it feels like they are a member of the Mom Game family, the Durrett family. And so I'm just so stoked that they like us.
That they like us.
They're
your
fantastic.
Golf tournament's
coming up this week. It's Thursday at Cowboys Golf Course, I think. But yeah, the folks at Next Step Recruiting, speaking of people who are like family.
Yeah. What is Next Step?
You know what? I need to see if Next Step wants to be a sponsor of the Mom Game.
Yeah.
What have I been thinking?
You should.
Yeah. So they're a recruiting firm, staffing and all that kind of stuff. And, they're fantastic, wonderful, wonderful people.
Yeah, we can have like one big happy family.
The Coymans, the Denmans, they're just such wonderful people. So they put this golf tournament on. It benefits the Durrett Foundation. For those who don't know, I'm the president of the Do It for Durrett Foundation, something I'm very, very proud of. It's a nonprofit foundation that assists families that have been impacted by sudden loss. It was inspired and founded because we lost our dear friend, Richard Durrett. Oh my gosh, 6 years now? No, It will be 7. He died on the day before Hattie's first birthday. So he soon to be 7 years ago, and left behind a wife and a pregnant wife and 2 children. And so
he was a beat writer, right?
He was a beat, exactly. He was a beat writer for the a number of different media outlets, ESPN, Dallas Morning News. He worked for a number of different outlets, covered the Rangers, the latter part of his career, and he died suddenly. And we banded together kind of some media members. The Rangers organization raised a ton of money for his family through a benefit concert. And then his wife, Kelly, was like, look, I want to keep this going. And so we formed the Do It for Durrett Foundation, and we've raised over $1 million over the last 7 years and helped over 120 families and counting. Wow. And so it's the outside of like my family and my children, like it's the thing that I'm the most proud of, because of we're a small organization, that's awesome. Small board. There's 6 of us. We've never turned a family away that's been brought to us, and it's just
like you find a way to help them in some way. And maybe you can't do
I know
everything you want, but you can do something.
Right. And so I'm just so proud of it. And it was inspired by Richard because he was just such a kind individual and a guy that did things the right way. And as far as living his life, and he just led his life with such integrity. And we're proud to carry on his name.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I'll be playing golf, if that's what you want to call it, playing golf on Thursday at Cowboys Golf Club. But if anybody's listening and wants to help the Durrett Foundation, doitfordurrett.com.
Yeah.
We're always looking for donations. Obviously, during the pandemic, things were really hard. We didn't get to have our annual event, which is our biggest fundraiser of the year. And anyway, so we are always happy to take donations if anyone is so inclined.
Yeah, sounds like a really good cause.
Sorry, I totally forgot
No, that's okay.
I just wanted to thank Gateway. I want to thank Next Step Recruiting. I want to raise awareness for the Do It for Durrett Foundation because it's something that's really important to me.
I actually came across, like, friend of a friend was a family that ended up getting help from Do It for Durrett Foundation. And that just shows like how big of a reach that you guys have, that like someone in my neighborhood that I just knew, you know, something like terrible had happened to her husband. And all of a sudden it was like something small, you know, like just help the daughter buy whatever it is that she wanted to wear to school that all the girls were wearing, blah, blah. They just need a little extra money, like a little extra cash. Cause all of a sudden you don't like,
and the thing about sudden loss is like, you don't, and I know we were going to talk about this too. So, you know, when someone dies unexpectedly,
we can talk about it now.
When someone dies unexpectedly, like it's not like someone who's, you know, suffered from Alzheimer's for the last 5 years. You don't really plan for this.
Right.
And so the last thing you're like, okay, how am I going to pay bills? Not to mention, like, how am I going to collect on this life insurance policy? When's that money going to come in so I can pay my mortgage and pay the car payment?
All while you're dealing with the grief of losing like your loved one or a dad.
Arrange for the funeral. Right. So whether it's you just shouldn't have to. We just want it to be a place where people could come that like, I just need to get through this time and allow them to, you know, really be able to focus on their families, themselves, allowing yourself to grieve in that process.
Know that someone's
in that
helping
moment.
You with the hard stuff.
So you're not just like, because I know when my daddy died, it was like, it was in the middle of tax season. He was a CPA, and all my sister and I were concerned about was getting his clients taken care of, getting his business sold to help my stepmother. Like, we just wanted to get everything taken care of. And then it wasn't until like literally 2 months later that I like allowed myself to grieve. That I just
have to snap into this mode of like taking care of everything.
Right. And so you're just trying to figure everything the fuck out. And then finally when everything's kind of calmed down, but that shouldn't be the way that it is. It should be to where, you know, that's what we want to provide at the Durrett Foundation, is to provide you, just let us help you get through maybe this month and the next month or whatever, just to give you some time.
Bridge the gap.
And we don't have an application process. There's no, we have a text message of board members that's like, here's the information. We vet the information to make sure that it's legit. You know, it's legit. And it's like, yes, how can we help? We can send them, you know, a check for this amount or this amount, and some need more than others. And so, yeah, it's definitely something I'm super, super, super proud of. And it's definitely not just me. Anthony Andro, Jeff Wilson, John Daniels, Kelly Durrett, Ashley Ernie C. are the ones who that make everything run. And so it's the six of us, and I couldn't be more proud. Good on all of
you. Yeah, that's amazing to have an idea like that and actually execute it and actually be helping people at the time where they need help the most. Yeah. So good stuff. And yeah, that was something we can just talk about a little bit, because I had mentioned to you, I was like, do you have a will?
Yeah. Like, so this is another random show bag, including a visit with Dirk coming up later.
That's all we're going to say?
Dirk's going to join the show.
Just make sure you stay tuned and tell all your friends to watch this episode, because Julie and Emily finally got to Dirk, and he's going to be sitting right here.
A guy named Dirk. Yes.
Just a little.
Yes.
Just a little bit. But okay, so yeah, random bag episode. But one thing while we're on the serious topics, and then we can have some fun. So Kelly and I are going the first week of July to Hawaii. And I know, I'm so excited.
I've never been to Hawaii.
I have been once when I was like a freshman in high school, so a really long time ago. And it was like my grandparents' wedding anniversary trip. And so it was totally different than what this trip will be.
Will you be on Valium for the flight? Like if you would have to know, I can't.
Whoa, like, I don't. You're freaking out. Are you okay?
Yeah, I don't.
Just talking about flying?
The reason I have not yet gone to Hawaii is because the flight is so long, and I am.
Is it long? I don't even know. I don't even care.
Gosh, you're talking about, are you connecting?
I don't have kids with me, so I don't give a shit.
You don't care.
I'm just going to be like asleep. Or like
just
watch
get
a movie.
Hammered and then have like 3 glasses of wine and then fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. But like, you know how I am about flying. You know I don't like to fly.
You're scaring me.
Oh, I have like major anxiety.
Okay, well,
Like Xanax,
wait.
wine, like all the things. Not Xanax and wine together.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you okay to talk about it right now? Because I don't want you to talk about something that's going to stress you out. You're really
Well, no, I'm
stressed
not.
out.
I know I'm not flying for a while.
Okay.
But like it's a known thing. Like on the Rangers team plane, it's like they'll totally F with me.
I remember you mentioning
yes,
that.
I mean,
right.
it's not. It's like
So
hyperventilating. There has. I mean,
do you
like
try to avoid it.
to avoid flying? No, but I know what has to happen. So I will. This is so embarrassing to admit. I paid, and I feel like first class flights now are a little bit more affordable. But when I went to Virginia, like a month ago,
I guess I
paid for
assumed you
first
drove.
class for me and my children.
Wow.
Because
it felt better.
You can drink in first class.
What? Can you not drink in others?
No, not during COVID. They're not serving.
Effing COVID.
Yes. So that's how crazy.
Why does it matter if you drink?
And
on a plane?
again,
What's that to do with COVID?
I know. And it's not like I'm getting hammered, but I need a drink or two to make it through a 2-3 hour flight.
Right. Because you can't just zonk out with sleeping pills if you've got your kids.
No, I've got my kids. Yes. I mean, I wasn't driving. I mean, I just want to make it clear. I'm not driving anywhere.
No one here is worried about it.
So, okay. But same thing on the Rangers team plane. I'm not driving anywhere. So I can have 2 or 3 glasses of wine and not have to worry about it.
Exactly.
So that day, the day that we left, there is a storm that hit like at the moment we were supposed to. So you have to understand, I'm looking at the forecast. If I'm going to fly no less than 7 days in advance and I'm mapping and it seems like without fail, every time I'm going to get on a plane, there are storms.
Yeah.
So my husband drops us off at the airport. He calls me on the way home. It sounds like he's in the middle of like somebody dropping bullets on his car. And I was like, oh, so what's that? He's like, oh, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. I'm like, it sounds like you're being like your car's being like assaulted by a machine gun. So anyway, back to the whole Virginia flight. So we end up we board the plane. The storm comes in, but I guess there's something where they want you to be on the plane so they can say shit happened on time or something. We're on there for 2 hours at the gate. And so I've never been more happy with the decision that I made to spend money extremely frivolously and buy tickets in first class because I got to have 2 mimosas while we were sitting on.
So you paid extra so you could drink is essentially what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
I had no idea you couldn't.
And paid for my kids. Yeah. Like, cause like, it's not like I can send them.
Right.
And that sounds,
listen,
I realize that some people may be like, she is effing crazy. Totally get it. And but I fully own it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, it was probably
you were a little cray.
Twice as much for us to fly first class.
Was it?
Yeah. And it's not because I'm trying to be snobby. It's literally.
I get it.
So I'm not going to have.
It's because
so I'm not going to have a panic attack.
You would panic.
Because like if I was on the runway for 2 hours, like in the middle seat, oh my God. Like,
and then your poor kids would just be sitting there like,
gosh.
my mom's going nuts.
Right. And they don't give one fuck. Like they could care less. They're not scared of turbulence. Like it's the whole flying thing for me is.
I've never been on first class. What's it like?
Was it cool?
Like, did you get a warm blankie? Did someone come by and give you a massage?
It's not that cool. And let me tell you something.
You didn't get a warm blankie?
You didn't get a warm blankie.
That's bullshit.
No. And also too, you kind of feel like an asshole.
Yeah.
Because you get on the plane first.
I imagine you would. Yeah.
And then everybody walks by. And I'm always kind of like.
I'm the person that looks at you and groans.
And then no shit. And then and then I've got
in between these big people in the back.
And then I've got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. Like, I mean, I'm sure people are like fucking spoiled ass kids. Look what she's doing, whatever. And I just want to be like I just have major anxiety. People.
I understand.
Like I'm not fancy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even remember to check in on Southwest, so I'm like in row Z. I'm always in the back by the bathroom because I can't remember that shit. I'm like, I didn't check in.
I know.
And then I go way to the back.
So sorry to sidetrack.
Well, now I'm nervous about talking to you about this. I didn't realize that you got so worked up about
I'm fine with you flying. I'm fine with you flying.
Okay, but it won't bring on anxiety about flying. Okay,
no.
Well, so we're flying to Hawaii, and back to that. I'm not worried about how long it's going to take because I'm just like so excited to be alone with kids. We're going with 3 other couples, and Kelly, it brought this topic up about wills. And also when I was on my girls trip a few weeks ago, all of us were talking about it. It was a bunch of moms and we're like, do you have a will? Do you have a will? Do I need a will? How much does it cost? Do we need to do this?
You do.
And with this impending flight coming up, it makes me think like, what if something happened? I'm not worried about it. We fly all the time. Kelly flies all the time.
Right. But the two of you together.
The two of us together.
Without your kids.
Or like, what if we get stuck in a volcano while we're there?
And you know
what if a volcano erupts on us?
You know, that's lava is hot.
Lava is hot. Lava would.
What about you? Also
totally
need
kill
you know
you.
you need a medical power of attorney. You need medical power of attorney assigned over to whoever's caring for your children. You can download one online.
That one we usually do.
You have that. Okay.
Because my mom always makes sure we haven't.
Yes.
Medical. Have a note.
Just
she's going to be
case.
with my kids.
Yes.
But we don't have a will. I'm like.
You need to have a will.
And so you have one, I'm guessing. I can tell.
So I'm married to perhaps the most responsible, like
Is he OCD? Because how would y'all manage?
Well, so he is OCD in a different way. But yes, I mean, we have the will, and it's, I mean, he all the things, the kids' college funds. He's like
a lot
Mr.
of like what he does for a living with Mike McCoy Mortgage.
Right. Yes. I mean, he's on top of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that if I was married to I don't know that ever, I do think you need to have a will though.
Okay.
You need to have a will. You need to have a will because you know what you need to have?
And we need to get a lawyer for that, or?
You can, there's templates online.
Yeah.
I mean, we started a business online, right?
Heck yeah, we did.
But I would encourage you to have one. And I think the most important thing, unless you're like uber wealthy and worried about assets and where they're going to go and blah, 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 is who gets custody of your children.
That's what I heard. Because if you don't have one, then they go to the government or something.
Well,
it's and then
you just want to have that squared away.
Yeah.
And so I think with ours though, we had to go like 3 deep. And so we had all these discussions about like who would, cause I would love for my sister, but I don't think my kids will want to go to Virginia, like take them away from their whole life.
Yeah.
And so, now that I say this, I don't remember who gets their kids.
Was it your sister-in-law? She lives here, right?
She does. I don't think my sister-in-law, who is my age and has no children, would be interested in that. I think she's in.
No thanks.
You know what? Maybe it is like Sarah, my sister, and Mike's sister, and they like just figure it out.
Yeah.
And they're both like so agreeable that they would. I don't know. It's a good question. I probably need to check on that.
Well, you'll be fine.
No, yeah, they'll be all right. But either way, it's designated.
Okay.
And then I know my friend Heather's in the mix. I'm in the mix for her kids. She's in the mix for mine.
In the mix.
But you have to have
first runner up.
Yeah.
Honorary mention.
You're on standby.
Yeah. And if like 3 people croak,
one
then you're
more
next.
person's got to die before you get my kids. But yeah, it's so morbid to think about, but it also makes you feel like super squared away once you get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see that. I imagine we need to square that aspect of our life away. We're just always like, let's hope for the best.
It'll figure it out. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm with like the ultimate preparer.
I know
in my husband. Yeah.
And I love that about you. Okay. So speaking of being squared away, we were talking about something before this that I just wanted to touch on. Because you said you had to brush your eyebrows, and that's something that I've never thought about. Eyebrows. I want to talk a little bit about like all the shit we do to try to like.
Do you brush your eyebrows? You don't brush your eyebrows?
I have a clear mascara stick, and I kind of like will just brush them out before I put on my makeup every once in a while. But I don't do anything else to my eyebrows. And I know like eyebrows are a big thing these days, and people get them.
Yeah, they're really big.
And I think what are you supposed to have nowadays? Thick eyebrows or like
thick is back.
Thick is back. I don't even know, Emily.
Thin was in for a while. And what happened
like when people would draw them.
Yeah. Well, what happened to me was I got a bad brow job. I got a really bad brow job, and I didn't know it was bad until I got home and like washed my face and realized that they had like totally drawn some shit in. And I was devastated and I was so sad. And I don't know why. I think it's because I get so ripped about my hair so much that like I'm
you like extra focus in on your eyebrows.
Like there's just there's just nothing I use Monet, like I use this shampoo that costs a lot of money. Like I'm not using Pantene. I'm doing all the things I can for this hair. It's just what it is. So I'm like, maybe I can have some good eyebrows. I don't know.
It makes sense.
And I don't like to wear makeup when I'm not working. And so I feel like if you've got decent eyebrows, it's easier to pull that off. Same way with long eyelashes. I've got weird, fucked up warped thinking. But so I started using, I sell Rodin and Fields. And so I started using the Lash Boost on my eyebrows. And so now they've grown back in. And so now there's like, there's a couple little spots that need to grow in. And so I'm kind of obsessed with them. So
On your eyebrows?
Right here, there's like a little hole that needs to, and that's why I was brushing it, because you can see it right there.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I just never think about my
You don't think about your eyebrows? Good for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, when I had cancer, didn't lose my eyebrows, but I lost my eyelashes and all of my hair. So I think that's something now that I'm just like,
fuck it.
I don't fucking care. I'm just glad that there's like something in all of these places.
Right.
I'm glad I have this and this.
Yeah.
You lost some things that don't come back, but I'm glad I have those things. So I thought that was interesting, because there's just a lot of little things as a woman. I feel like even because
all the things.
When I became a mom, like so many of those things are just like, I don't care and I don't have time, like the grooming and the waxing. And even we talked about accessories, because I'm lucky if I put on earrings or like a bracelet, but it's different when you work in TV, and I don't anymore, but I had to think about it. But now that I don't have to think about it, like I wear very little accessories, and I do very little like extra maintenance. It's like the hair highlight. I love the facials from Cutting Edge Cryo.
Yeah.
I feel like that's been awesome. And I get to cut back maybe on I did a little bit of the Botox to start, but I haven't done much lately.
You haven't?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't. But it's just like overwhelming to think about all the things. And then the tanning and just everything.
Yeah. I was,
Do you have like a spreadsheet?
Of what I do? Well, so I write a lot of it off.
Oh, that's nice.
You know what I mean? The stuff that I can write off. And it's so funny in my spreadsheet, it's like TV appearance maintenance is what I label it.
There you go.
Yeah. And I don't know though that if I wasn't on TV, I still think I would be this way. I mean, I think there's a certain level of vanity to me that
But a lot of people, not just you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I'll totally own it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll own it. Like I'm trying to be cute. I mean,
aren't we all? Yeah. Like, I mean, cute.
But I think some people, I want to be cute too.
I want to be cute.
I want to be cute. I mean, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And then you get
but
older
I
and
think
you're
there's
just like,
sometimes well, I know. And then there is a certain amount of cute shaming though in my business, because of it's almost the reverse. So you've got the people that are like, she's trying too hard to be cute at a baseball game. And then there's other people who are so over the top cute that they're, and not even cute, like that we're like sex pot, you know, over. So it's like, there's this whole weird thing going on in my little world.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I watched
where it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Wear a fucking turtleneck and some sweatpants? Like, no, outski.
That's just,
you know what I mean?
But yeah, it's like, if you watch NHL Network and like MLB Network, those chicks are hot.
Oh,
like, and they always have their boobs out and like tight dresses and high heels. And you know what? More power to them, because they look good. They look really good.
Yeah. It's like, get after it. Wear whatever the fuck you want. If that makes you feel good, get after it.
Exactly.
I mean, but also too, you have to realize that and it's like we've talked about before. I feel like now in the Rangers clubhouse, I'm like a mom. I could go in there in a fucking bathing suit. I don't think anyone would notice. They'd be like, "Oh, hey mom, you going to the pool?" You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sure
they would notice if you went in there in a bathing suit.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, it's a different, you know, I don't know. It's a different dynamic. Like if I had a different job, I mean, but just the fact that I've, you know, done what I've done for as long as I've done it, and I've been with this team for as long as I have, that I'm like, I feel like I can wear whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which
is great.
You know, which some days I wear, you know, tennis shoes and a sundress or whatever.
The way you're doing it is perfect.
And I don't, and
you
I
look
just
cute,
right? And I'm like,
but not
yes,
over the top.
Am I still trying to be cute?
You're
and I'm
good
not trying to be
broadcaster that you don't have to worry about.
Well, and I feel like you just kind of get to a point where you just don't give a fuck.
Well, you're there because you're good at your job, and
right?
You
I'm not right, but thank you.
Yes, that is why, and I think maybe it's easy to focus too much on all of the other things. Okay, so
what
moral
else
of that story is: do I need to do my eyebrows?
We're so all over the place.
We are. Well, I
went through Will's, the Durant Foundation,
but I feel like I need to do my eyebrows now.
I don't think you need to do. What do you mean you need to do them?
I need to do something. Dye them? Do people?
No, microblading. That's a thing.
Yeah, microblading. What is that?
That I don't really know. Like they cut your skin and then it comes back. I don't know.
Okay.
Tattoos.
I'm not
I don't
doing
know.
that, but I do love that. I told you my daughter calls them eyebrows.
Eyebrows
because they're brown.
Yeah,
and she has brown eyes, so I think she associates it all, and so now I call them eyebrows. It's just one of the cutest things.
It is cute.
That, and when Ryder does his state song and he says New Hampshire,
Oh,
for New
stop
Hampshire.
it.
Those are like the two favorite things that my kids say.
Okay, New Hampshire's really cute. So today Henry had his award ceremony at school, and they asked us to stand in the beginning and do the pledge. And so we did. All the parents did the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Then they're like, and we turned to the Texas pledge. There's a Texas Pledge of Allegiance.
I knew there was
So
one.
like all the parents are looking around, we're like,
Do you remember what it was? How it started?
No, I don't remember any of it. And I never even have heard of this Texas pledge.
You know, I probably did it when I was little.
But it made me think of anyone who listens to the ticket. They one year at like Summer Bash or something, there was some wasted lady like trying to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and she was like, "One God, under nation, deliverable, deliverance, justice for all, amen." You know, it was like
just like killing.
And
it
so
like
I looked around and all the parents are like, and the kids obviously knew it, but I was like, so then of course I turned to somebody and I was like, "Do you listen to the ticket?" And this couple dudes are like, "Yeah, sometimes." I'm like, "You remember that lady who was drunk and tried to do the pledge?" Like, "No." And I'm like,
Isn't
okay,
it weird
never
when
mind.
I think of ticket things all the time that I just laugh about and no one around.
One nation under delivery. Like it was like this lady who was like hammered. And I was like, that's what we all
in
are.
her mind,
just
she's like, I'm killing this.
fucking nailing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Pledge of Allegiance to the Texas state flag, is it really short? Because this thing's really short.
Very short.
And it sounds like they just jumbled up the words to the other pledge.
What is it? What is it?
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, comma, Texas, comma, one state under God, one and indivisible.
That's the most ridiculous pledge ever.
It really is. Okay, now I'm going to perform it because I was reading it.
Okay, ready?
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Doesn't it sound like they're finishing with like a question? I need some closure on this thing.
Okay, I'm going to start a campaign to get rid of the Texas state anthem or Pledge of Allegiance.
The revised wording became effective on June 15th, 2007.
Oh, that's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah. It looks like it was initially...
You hardcore text and be like, "What are you talking about, girl? You trying to get rid of our pledge? We're Texas. We're pledging allegiance, damn it.
We're pledging
We're
allegiance.
pledging our allegiance and we're indivisible."
Dumbass
People
with
who are
Texas.
so Texan.
Nice hair too, by the way, while we're at it.
Your hair sucks. Why? I mean, and I love my state.
I love my state, but this is a joke.
It's too much. Like,
honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas. One state under God, one and indivisible. Finish your thought.
I know.
It's like it leaves me.
What do you mean you don't like it?
It leaves me wanting more.
What do you mean? It's Texas. We're one and indivisible.
Yeah, it's too.
It's too Texas. It's too.
I need like
okay, yeah.
something
So
decisive at
we're
the
so
end.
great. We're on our own fucking power grid, and now they're telling us to power it down.
Thing, Emily's.
What
mad.
is happening?
Emily's mad at Texas and flying and the grid. Okay, so just today, the day that this is. The day before this is going to air, we got a note from ERCOT. Effing ERCOT.
I have a friend who works for ERCOT.
Well, tell them they suck.
I don't, but she's a very, very nice woman. She is a very nice.
I just wanted to yell like you were yelling.
She's a very nice woman, and she's doing everything.
Does she like?
She's
wear
not
a mask?
on the board.
Does she cover her face when she goes out?
She's not on the board. She's
the board of 11, or like they downsized their board from 16 to
so they're
12. Thought they were making progress. And
she is a very nice girl and not responsible for any of this shit.
Okay, but what the hell's happening?
I don't know. But if my shit goes out, I'm gonna lose it.
I think that what we're hearing is that our shit is gonna go out. I've already thought. I'm like, do I just float in the pool for like the whole day?
Oh, must be nice to have a pool.
You can come over.
Should I fill my
Miss,
bathtub?
I'm building a house and putting a pool in the back. Shut the fuck up.
Should we fill?
I inherited a pool from the 90s. It was my grandma's.
Remember how during Snowmageddon they told us to fill the bathtub up with water, right?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So that you could flush the toilets.
Yeah.
So should we fill the bathtubs up with
we start hoarding water?
Ice,
so we can just get in an ice bath? Because we're going to be hot as hell. They're recommending people to keep their thermostat at like 77. It's not okay. And we've got to, like, the upstairs gets real hot. Like, and I've got company coming in town this weekend. My best friend's coming.
So are you going to do it?
Am I going to put my thermostat up to that?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, I'm a good citizen.
I am not. I don't.
No, I'm
they
not.
have not even shown me proof that it's going to do anything.
I know.
They're telling everyone that, and the shit's still going to hit the fan, and we're still going to have the grid explode.
Do you think they're
and
totally
we're just
scamming us to tell us that so they can like not have to produce as much energy? And
probably they
Yeah.
are realizing that they still haven't like figured their shit out from the winter freeze, and so they're like, what? Here it's coming, hot temperatures.
I mean, do we
Everyone keep
really
your
need to
things
be on our
down.
own power grid? Like, why are we so
I don't-
Texas
I
that
don't
we have to be on
know.
our own power
I don't know.
grid?
I love everything about Texas besides
I
the
do.
allegiance and our power grid.
Right. The pledge and
of
the power
allegiance
grid. Let's
sucks.
get rid.
And the power grid sucks. Sometimes it's okay to do what everybody else is doing, Texas.
I wonder who wrote that pledge.
It looks like a third grader wrote it.
Okay, so
if we're
we've
being real.
gone on record as saying we're not going to set our thermostats to
not.
78.
I'm going to enjoy my AC while I have it because it sounds like it's going to go out.
Either
so
way.
it's like if we only have a few hours with it, fuck. I'm not going to put it to like 65. Like maybe I'll put it down to, I won't be at 69 like usual.
72.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this weekend, hold on to
Okay.
your butts. This could suck.
Hold on to your butt.
And TikTok, quick
are the-
update on our TikTok challenge. We are
yeah.
doing the TikTok challenge.
and the Tic Tac challenge.
And the TikTok challenge. We should start that. See how many TikToks
So I have.
you can put in your mouth. We are trying to figure out the right song and the right TikTok dance to do. I spent a lot of time on TikTok over the weekend. I'm ashamed to admit, but I did, and it's really kind of cool. Emily, I kind of like TikTok.
So
It's
okay,
really fun.
Isn't it crazy though?
I finally started to try to do a dance in the mirror, and I was like, God, I don't look like these girls.
I know.
They're so cute.
So okay, here's one. Who was this?
Oh, the blinding lights one. Yeah.
Okay, is this
Look at me,
Kate
I'm
Upton?
trying to dance. It's like you do your leg.
Okay, she got the swim move.
Yeah.
Is that Kate Upton?
Kate Upton? No, that's that Addison girl. She's like a hot TikToker. Because that's a thing now. You can just be like
Be a hot TikToker.
You can be a hot TikToker.
I
So we
missed
thought
out on
about
that.
doing the blinding lights. We thought about doing.
So let's also tell them what happened. Like we were researching this, and I was like 10 most popular dances on TikTok.
Easiest and
No, I did most popular
Oh, I
first.
thought you did easiest.
No, remember? And then I was like, oh, that one's out, because it was like very provocative stuff. It like one twerking and like anyway, TikTok is full of stuff.
You can go down a road when it's very rated R.
Yeah.
I was watching at the airport just trying to get some ideas, and all of a sudden it was like a girl. I was like, if someone looked at me right now, they would think I'm watching porn.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like a dude almost naked, like doing some TikTok. I mean, he was in like a little bathing suit or something.
Oh.
The thing just pops up and you don't have control over it.
Yeah, I just came up. I don't know. It just came up.
It did. And I was like, because like, what if someone saw? I don't know. TikTok's kind of cray.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't want my kid
So
on it.
we're working on the TikTok thing. We're trying to find the right
Yeah, and we're practicing.
routine. Oh, practicing so hard.
I liked the blinding. I was practicing that over the weekend.
I'm practicing so hard.
And my kids were just dancing.
I
around
really
me.
think that one that Hattie did that I sent you. What you know about love?
Yeah, I got what you need. Yeah, we could do something like that. You know, we're gonna kill it. We could do like 5.
Oh wow, that's
Why
so
not?
aggressive.
We've already listed off a couple.
We have. Okay, what else is on our list of randomness? I feel like we
That
need to go.
we're gonna have Dirk join us, so we should
Dirk's
probably
coming.
get out of the way for
Dirk's
him.
coming.
Yeah,
Let's also, we
coming.
have big guests coming.
Yeah, we do.
Marty Turco
Marty Turco.
bringing us beer and talking hockey, fatherhood, stars.
Yep.
All the things.
All the things. in
Marty
his new
Party.
venture.
His
How
new
much
venture.
he hated
Yes.
his nickname, his new venture in
Yes.
the beer world.
All the things. And then we have, the defined dish.
We're very
Alex
excited.
Snodgrass. Like this girl is like famous. Like
She's very famous.
She might be one of our most as far as like social media is concerned.
Yeah.
Like she's legit
New York Times bestselling author.
She
Crazy amount of followers on Instagram and Twitter.
cooks all the time.
In order to talk to her, she's got like a team.
Yeah, she has a team. We have to talk to the team.
Emily's been talking to her team.
Yes.
And we're very
We
excited.
have a list
Yes.
of items to get for us to make a charcuterie board.
Yes.
With the defined dish.
Yes.
Alex Snodgrass.
And we'll have a real fun social media challenge coming up in conjunction with that show.
Yeah.
Where you can win your very own charcuterie board, and they are beautiful.
Yes.
So we will keep everybody posted on that. More
Yep.
to come there, but a lot of really fun, exciting guests coming up on the mom game. And then, of course, sometimes you're stuck with the two of us and we talk about random shit like Will's
Random
and eyebrows
shit.
and
Eyebrows.
TikTok dances. And we make fun of the damn Pledge of Allegiance for the state of Texas, which is just stupid.
Yeah, it's a stupid pledge. Okay, let's get to it right now.
Okay, as promised, the moment we've all been waiting for. We've been trying to get this guy on the show ever since we started this podcast. It is the one, the only, Dirk.
It is Dirk.
It's Dirk, the swim coach.
Hey, everyone. Sorry to disappoint everyone.
So
listening.
let's start with that. So your name is Dirk, actually.
Yes.
Yes. And what is it like being a Dirk in this town?
It's like the basketball player, and then I'm like, yeah, it's like the basketball player, and that's.
And so, why were you named Dirk? Did your parents love Dirk?
Yeah, I guess that was my uncle's name, and
because you and Dirk are like this.
I know, I was going to say that doesn't add up.
You and Dirk are like the same age, right? Ish.
I'm 40. I think he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah.
He was playing when I was in high
Something
school.
doesn't add up there, but I was just wondering if his parents liked Dirk.
He started in the late 90s, right? I think.
Julie, that was a dumb question. I'm sorry. I love you so much, but that was not. They're not thinking.
We'll just roll with it, okay? Okay. What? But it's just funny that his name is Dirk, and then there's
And I
a
live
professional
here.
athlete,
And you're there,
Dirk,
yeah.
and he lives here. So I was wondering if somewhere in there that could have worked out somehow.
Yeah, I mean, but at least it's
where the people
like a
naming
well-loved guy. It's not like your name is like Adolf.
Yeah, that is
Mrs. Math
fortunate
over
for
there.
me. Yes. Yeah.
Bringing
You
it
know?
up Adolf. Jeez Louise.
Well, I mean,
anyways.
could be worse. But
We're
we're
messed.
not. We're not
We're
here
messed
to
to
talk.
do today.
We do have Dirk on the show. We've said we've been trying to get Dirk, and Dirk is here.
This is
and
Dirk.
We are
okay.
thrilled.
Thank you for having me.
All jokes aside, this is a very important topic right now. Obviously, it is summertime, the beginning of summertime. It is hot outside all of a sudden. So people are going to be swimming a lot, and people are going to be going to the beach. People are going to be going to pool parties. I have little kids that Dirk is actually helping learn to swim, but they're at the age where you worry about these things. And when they're in the pool, for me, it's like always a level of anxiety. So we wanted to have Dirk on the show to talk just about swimming safety. And first of all, we could talk a little bit about Ryder and Anna, because you've done such a great job coaching them. Ryder can swim, but he's needing to work on some technique. Anna is just a beginner swimmer. She's just now 3 years old. And so you've really helped her feel more comfortable. So I guess maybe the first question is like, what age do you recommend starting swim lessons, and how important is it?
There's different ideas on when you should start. I really like the age 3 and up. I think that's when it really gets going. There is the infant survival. I've seen some hit or miss with that. I think it's kind of diminishing returns if you start any earlier. You get a lot more bang for your buck if you can just watch your kids until they're 3.5, and then get them going with proper swimming and not just float on their back until someone sees them.
Yeah. So you mentioned the infant survival, and I know a lot of moms that do that, and they like it, or they had a bad experience with it. What are your thoughts on that? I personally wasn't interested in doing that with my kids.
Yeah, it's not for me, and I don't want anyone to think that it doesn't work. It's just my preference. It's I've seen some kids that have taken to it, and then some that are pretty traumatized by it, and then there's a lot of reworking and that kind of thing. And so my technique is more trying to get them face in the water versus roll to the back and kind of stay there until they can float.
Mm-hmm. And so just how important is it? You said about 3 years old, but how important is it? Do you think this is something that every parent should be doing, is getting their kids in swimming lessons? And do you need to bring in a professional?
Yeah, I think anyone needs to know how to swim, adult or child. And yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, then you definitely need to bring someone in that knows how to teach your kid or yourself how to swim.
So didn't you teach Donovan how to swim?
Yeah.
I did. I did.
How often do you see adults that don't know how to swim and that want to learn?
Quite a few. And there's a stigma to that. There's a lot of professional athletes that have these large homes and pools and they don't know how to swim in them. So sometimes I'll go in and teach them at their house, and we start the same way as we do with kids, face in the water, blowing bubbles. and then we go from there. So
Yeah, Donovan Lewis from The Ticket was who I was referring to, and he didn't know how to swim.
No.
I mean, and that's you almost think like too, like we talk about nowadays kids riding bikes. Like there's so many kids that don't know how to ride a bike. Like not even kids, like 20-year-olds, because they just never. It was never a thing. Yeah. So they shouldn't grow up with, riding the bike. And so it's the same thing with swimming.
Exactly.
I taught myself how to swim. And
did you?
Well, I mean,
what a badass. Wow.
No, I think it's because my parents just didn't want to bother with lessons.
Yeah.
I didn't
well, there's a point you need to figure it out if you're.
Yeah. And so for the longest time, I could
else.
only doggy paddle. And so it was just doggy paddling. And then I realized like in like junior high, how ridiculous it looked. And so I just kind of learned by watching,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a weird thing that I didn't think we'd talk about today, but there we have it.
Well, we can come back to that in your doggy paddling past and teaching yourself to swim.
I think maybe I blocked it out of my childhood brain.
Yeah, apparently so.
I think I was like super pissed because my parents didn't want to give me any.
Why are all these other kids swimming all around me in circles?
Any classes. I never took class. I never took dance. I never took any of those things.
Oh, we need to revisit.
I was neglected as a child.
You were neglected. You
forced
were.
to fend for
That's
myself.
That's why you just dance like as hard as you can at a restaurant or a bar because you never had a proper forum.
So hard, I tore my meniscus. That's how hard I dance.
It's true. It's true.
All right, let's keep moving.
Yes. So, Dirk, one of the things we wanted to talk about with you, and obviously this is something that's very important, is just the misconceptions about drowning, and that's every parent's biggest fear. Ugh. And I hear, I hear more and more stories about like a child that falls in the pool when the parents aren't watching, or if you're at some sort of party and you think they're fine, but one kid's like actually pulling the other one down and you have no idea because maybe they are good swimmers, but this is happening and you think they're fine and they're doing something like that to each other. So what are some of the misconceptions about drowning and what do we need to watch out for as parents?
Right. So shows like Baywatch and Jaws and these beach signs of no drowning, you see the kid's arms up in the air, the adult, and there's a lot of splashing and yelling for help. And unfortunately, the way drowning really happens is right below the surface, and it looks like doggy paddle. So it's completely a silent drowning. You don't hear any splashing or flailing, and then you just look down and you see your kid or somebody just right below the surface, not even 6 inches, trying to doggy paddle and get above the surface, and it's not happening. So I think that's the number one, is that, I'll hear if something's going on. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably the number one thing. And then
is that you think it's going to be some big like production.
You'll hear it.
I'll know if my kid's drowning, or I'll know. But if you're not watching, it happens very quick. And then a lot of people, when they're swimming, they prepare while they're in the water. And most drownings happen right when you get in or when you're getting out of a pool or the water.
It's kind of like the car accidents that happen close to your home.
Yeah.
Like within a whatever radius of your house, most car accidents. So it's with the pool. It's when you get in or when you get out.
Such a nightmare. And what do you say to kids about, because I know that's one thing that I've heard about in like Ryder, for example, he's 5, so he can swim. So I'm not like staring at him every second he's in the pool, but I know when they start like roughhousing and start playing, if he all of a sudden can't swim on his own or something happens, he's pulling on a kid. I mean, I guess the best thing to do is just say, like, what would you recommend to say about that kind of thing? Like, don't touch your friend when you're in the pool, or...
Yeah, it's important to know what your kid's swimming ability is and what to look for if they're getting tired. If your kid jumped off a diving board 6 times and he made it, but he's starting to get worn out, 8th or 9th time, he's going to start getting tired. So, there's just knowing what your kid's swimming ability is and what to look for as far as good swimming. If they look all right. Another misconception is, if their head's out of the water and they're doggy paddling, that they're doing fine. And really, face in the water and being horizontal is your proper swim stroke. If your head's out of the water and you're doggy paddling, that is a drowning position. And you can only do that for so long before you get worn out, no matter what your age is.
Yeah, and that's about where Ryder's at. That's why we're working with him, to not be like this, but to be like this. That's what I was telling him on vacation this last week. And I said, I want to see your booty up. Is that a right thing to say? Like, I want your booty to be on top of the water, like like a whale, you know, or
That's right.
how you can see their dorsal fin. I made that up. Was that okay?
That's
I was
great.
like, I want to see
Good
your
job.
fin because I don't want your bum down like this. And then you're like a stick and you start drowning.
Right. If your face is down, that pops your butt up and that keeps you flat on the water. If you're trying to keep your head up or look straight ahead, that drops your legs down and now you're vertical and you get stuck in that position. It's hard to get forward momentum if you're in a vertical position.
And so what about for, so like for Anna's age or for like a 2 or 3 year old that's just starting, what are the first things that you start doing with a child to kind of get them comfortable and maybe some things that moms could do even in the bathtub just to get their kids used to water?
Yeah. Face in the water is the most important, you know, just being comfortable and used to water in the eyes, water in the face. And then the blowing bubbles is really to exhale in the water. When you think about swimming, you blow out in the water, you inhale out of the water, which sounds obvious, but a lot of people do both with their head out, exhale and inhale with your head up. And when you do it that way, the longer your head is out of the water, the sooner you go back to that vertical position where you're stuck and not moving forward. So you want to get your head out and put it back in as quickly as possible to keep moving forward when you're swimming.
So the just little things you can do to get them even used to being in the water at that age. So they're not like freaking out if they do go under. Right.
And so, you know, I'm pro or, you know, you don't have to use goggles. Some are very against, I want to do it without goggles, or some are, I only want to use goggles. So if it's whatever gets their face in the water, I think is the most important. And you're right. You can do that in a bathtub, blow bubbles in a bathtub. You don't need a big pool.
And I know,
going.
you got something.
Well, I was just going to ask, like you mentioned, like, you know, professional athletes that you've worked with that have these big luxurious pools and need to learn how to swim. Is there, and not that you can divulge too many details, but are there any that you can tell us about?
I cannot. It's you know,
Have
like
you
I
taught
said,
Dirk's kids how to swim? Because that would make sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Dirk on Dirk action.
Not too much name dropping. But again, it's more at that age, you know, there was a stigma and, you know, if they said it was okay, I would, but you know, being in a professional adult that can't swim.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
But Dirk's kids, that's just as cool.
That is cool. That's very cool. Okay. So I know you get upset when you see my kids in puddle jumpers. And puddle jumpers are something that I know a lot of moms use because they can't be in there every second with the child. And that's how I feel kind of with Anna. I'm in there with her trying to help her when I can, but sometimes she just likes to float around. Sure. What do you think about puddle jumpers?
You know, I take them or leave them. They definitely don't help you swim and they do give false confidence. I understand if you have multiple children that you're trying to pay attention to, or there's a lot going on, then, you know, throw them in. But, you know, try to balance it with time without the puddle jumper. With the, they used to be called water wings before they attached across the chest. And, you know, a kid would jump in with the water wings and they would just come right off if they jumped. So now they put that chest strap across to keep them on their arms.
Yeah.
It keeps you in that vertical position and you can't move your arms around when you have the puddle jumper on because they keep you like this. So it's important to have it both ways, I would say.
Yeah.
But I know, again, there's other that you can't use them or, you know,
Well, just
whatever.
making sure they know the difference. Like, hey, you don't have this on right now, so you're not going to be able to float like you usually can. I would imagine is important.
Right. Yes.
Is important too.
I have a water wing story.
Oh,
so I
bring
was
it.
actually, you know, I wore water wings for a long time, apparently, since I couldn't decide to teach myself how to swim. But I remember I was in the Perryton newspaper, because that's where I was when I was like young, where I grew up. I mean, I grew up in Plainview, but when I was really young, I lived in Perryton, and there was a picture of me in the newspaper, and it said, the caption was, "Water wings can help."
Oh.
Yeah.
Why? What were you doing in the
I
picture?
don't really know. I just was swimming. I was at the swimming pool, and I don't know if it was.
Were you in the water wings?
I was wearing water wings.
Okay, so you were like the poster girl for water wings
was
in a way.
Yep, I was. I also felt like this was very important for me to share with you
Well,
guys.
thank you for sharing. Now we know you a little bit better. Puddle jumpers, I feel like the water wing situation has come a long way, but you're right. You don't want them to get.
I love the fact that they're called water wings.
I know.
Yeah.
You don't want them to get that false confidence though that they think they can swim because they're usually in a puddle jumper and they can't.
Right.
Did you ever? You're too young for water wings. You probably don't even know what those were.
No. I mean, we called them floaties, but they were just the things that go around your arms.
And they would burn the shit out of you if you tried to take them off when you weren't, like when you were dry.
Yeah.
It was like,
it just like makes that noise, like nails on chalkboard.
Yeah.
I'm glad
rip
we
your skin
don't
off
have to
and
use
stuff.
those really for our
Yeah.
kids anymore. So one other thing that we wanted to talk about, I know, is how to tell if you're lifeguard. Like at the club, is if you take your kids to the club and there's lifeguards, how can you tell if the lifeguard is actually watching your kid and that your kid is safe?
So I would like to think all lifeguards are trying their hardest.
Yeah.
It's a very easy job until it's not. And so my favorite lifeguards are seasoned lifeguards that have been around for a really long time, that have done a few rescues, or the one that just got out of the class who thinks someone's going to drown every 5 minutes
Right.
and they're just prepared. I think the tricky one is the one that's kind of been promoted but hasn't done any rescues, and they're social and they're kind of higher up on the.
They're like kind of hot. Like they're all
Yeah,
like, they all
you
like
know,
date each other. It's
Exactly.
Like,
All of that is true. You
Hot
know, as a,
lifeguards.
but you know, you want them to be watching your kids. And so what you're looking for is a good scan of the pool. They should be able to look 180 degrees in about 20 seconds and check all the heads in the water. If you see your lifeguard just staring straight ahead at one spot in the bottom of the pool and there's no one at that spot, they're probably either tired or something's going on. Cell phones is a big no-no. I think most managers make them put them away, but now with smart watches, they can check their texts on their watch and look like they're looking at their time. So, you know, if you see them scrolling through their watch, you know,
that's not good.
it's not good.
Yeah.
And, you know, just do they look alert? Are they spinning their whistle around?
Right. You
trying
want
to
them
look cool,
to be
seeing what-
engaged.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's something that you offer. So let's talk a little bit about the services that you offer. Swim with Dirk is your company.
That's right.
And we've worked with you for a couple of summers now. I blast you out on my Instagram because I like sharing things that actually work. And when you're paying money and dedicating like however many hours on your weekend to swim lessons, you want to make sure that it works and that it's efficient. And that's why I like this relationship that we have, and I like spreading the word about you. So what services do you offer?
Yeah, swim lessons for all ages. I start with a parent-child lesson to kind of show parents, again, since I don't do the infant survival, I do a parent-child. This is how you get your kid's face in the water, float them on their back, help them climb out of the water. And then by 3, we do the one-on-ones swim lessons. And then I also offer adult learn to swim or advanced training as well. And if you need a lifeguard for your party, I have a list that I
Good lifeguards.
A fleet.
a fleet of lifeguards. So
That's awesome.
yeah, they do it all. Yeah. And then that's swimdirk.com.
Swimdirk.com. And that's the way to go, Jules, because I mean, not all of us are fancy enough to have a pool at our house.
I'm the fanciest.
Obviously, you're fancy. But I did go to another person's house who had a party with a bunch of second grade, about to be second grade girls, and they hired lifeguards so the moms could hang out and visit and not, worry about.
Oh, because there's nothing
The
better than a
girls.
pool party, right? Like
Yeah,
that's what
and you want to have fun.
Yeah, and we've got
Yes.
June birthdays. Like we'll have a pool party every summer, but it is like, oh my God, these kids are going to be in my pool. I am nervous.
Yes.
What if something happens? So I think a lifeguard is definitely a good idea, and especially one of your lifeguards, because it sounds like you train them well and they know what they're doing. So yeah, I think that's awesome. Hopefully, do you feel like we missed anything that's really important, for moms to know about their kids and drowning prevention or swim lessons, anything like that?
I think that's it. If your kid is a good swimmer and it's been a while, people associate swimming with the summertime, but it's, you can swim year round. We've had pretty cold May and early June. If your kid jumped in for the first time and they kind of got a shock, that's probably good. It's good to test them out in colder water as well. But
Probably keep the lessons going longer than you think you need to, I would imagine.
or a
like you think your
refresher.
kid's okay, or time has passed in between summers. Like you said, they could use a little refresher.
Yeah, you don't want to go 9 to 10 months without swimming before, a little refresher or something like that. I would recommend.
Yeah, very cool. And you coach a swim team too. And I know you've got a meet tonight. That's how hardcore he is.
That's right. The T-Bar and Racket Club versus Northwood Country Club.
It's a big meet.
Heated rivalry.
Summer league meet.
And they're in person, or are they doing?
We're in person this
Okay, I
year.
know there
Last
were
year
some
we did
virtual.
there's some virtual, but we're in person this year, so looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well,
Best of luck to the Dirk swimmers.
go Dirk.
Oh, I like
Team
that name.
Dirk.
Thank you.
Dirk swimmers.
I like
Thank you
that.
so much for joining us. I feel like
you for
that was
having
very
me.
informative. informative,
It was
and
very
hopefully
nice.
our listeners will feel better now when they get their little kids in the pool.
So glad I got to
this
share
summer.
a piece of my childhood with you as well.
I'm so glad I got to ask you
Water
the dumbest
wings.
question ever asked. But it called me out for it.
Fantastic.
So this is the end of our show, right?
It is.
So that means that Dirk has to do this with us. You got to put up your peace signs and you got to say, "Mom game out."
Mom game out.
Mom game out.